Hello everyone, I hope you can see me and hear me well. We are starting in 1-2 minutes. So far we have a poll, so you can try to click polls in the right corner and vote for what prioritization method do you currently use. If you are curious, we'll check poll results in the end. So let's just wait 1-2 minutes before more people join and we will start. I think I will start sharing my screen now. Here we go. A few words about the format. So it will take about 30 minutes. The first 15 minutes will be a presentation. Next 15-20 minutes will be a demo, and then we'll have a Q&A session. So please feel free to ask any questions you encounter during the presentation or demo. I will be really happy to answer it. Okay, let me switch to another window. And make it full screen. Let's go. Today I will show you a new prioritization technique. It's kind of interesting and maybe you will apply it in your companies. If not, it will spark some interest for you in any way. So I hope it will be not a waste of time, but a very entertaining presentation. Let's start. A few words about me. I'm Michael. I have 20 years of experience as a product leader. I only worked in 2 companies in this role, in target process for almost 14 years, and now in Fibery. Both companies I founded and serve a CEO position, but also in all companies I kind of play in a product manager role. So I do a lot of things around product and so on. This is my duck. Let's move on. For me, the most hard and interesting question as a product leader was how we make decision about what we work on next. How we really decide what feature to implement, what problem to solve. And I think there are 2 major themes in this decision-making framework. First, we have some visionary decisions, and then we have some user-driven decision. By visionary, I mean you have some insight or epiphany, take Sony Walkman, let's say. A guy just see during the running that, oh, maybe it will be good to have something portable to listen to music. And that's how Sony Walkman was born. Just a single insight, no focus group, no any feedback and so on. And here we mostly use intuition. It's really hard to invent any solid framework to replace our intuition here. But when you have a lot of customers or leads, they ask you to solve some problems, and you are trying to understand, okay, we have hundreds of customers. What's more important cumulatively for all these customers? Again, you can still rely on your intuition. You can interact with the customers, run interview sessions, read all the feedback you have, and make decision intuitively. Or you can try to apply some more formal framework, like RISE or Cannon model and so on, and make your decision based on this framework model. This presentation mostly focused on user-driven situation, when you already have a product, have leads, have customers, and want to understand what to build next. So please take it into consideration when you will think about how it can be applied in your context. First, let's talk about intuition, since, well, we use it. Let's talk about it, why it really works, or does it. What is intuition? Well, intuition is a form of unconscious intelligence. In our brain, we like all the time have some processes, like our brain processes information, like generate some ideas, like forecast the future, and we're not always like conscious about all these things. Sometimes when, let's say, you are sleeping and like in a glimpse of waking up, you have some beam to your unconsciousness. This is like how it really works. Just try to match unmatchable things together and so on. And can you like train intuition, how it really works? Well, you can. It stems from your expertise and knowledge. The more you know, the more like expertise you have in particular domain, the better your intuition will be, usually. And yeah, intuition works. Like we all know that some people make intuitive decision and it they're good, but it's not like very good. Like there are a lot of danger if you try to apply intuition. Like we as human beings have all sorts of cognitive biases. Like we have anchoring effect, we have recency bias, and so on. Like imagine you have a conversation with important lead, and after an hour from this conversation, you immediately put on top a couple of problems that this lead mentioned. Is it okay? Sometimes, but rarely, to be honest. We should like make our decision based on cumulative feedback from many people, not from like just a single lead, and so on. And also, it can be misleading. Like you can really feel about something, like can have very good feelings about it, but in the end, it like becomes a flop. Like I believe you can remember some ideas like that, and I definitely do. Like I have a lot of like mistakes based on my intuitive decisions. Again, does intuition really work? Yes, sometimes, but for this, you should be a very, very experienced product manager in a very, very familiar domain. Like in this case, mostly you can rely on your intuition, and maybe you don't need any other framework. If it's like that, like I'm happy for you. You can just, read some stuff, talk to people, and make decisions. But for everything else, it's not very good. Let's talk about RISE. RISE kind of should be a next step. Like we can't really explain how we use our intuition, but with RISE, we really can. Like 2 minutes introduction to RISE, just to set the context. RISE is quite a good framework, and it tries to split your ideas or problems or features you want to estimate to 4 different properties. First is reach. Let's say we solve this idea. How many users will be affected in our product if this idea is solved? Like 100%, maybe less, and so on. The second is I, impact. Imagine we solve this problem and how impactful the solution will be for a single user. Maybe it will unblock something very important for the single user, and the impact will be high. Third parameter is confidence. Like, okay, we solve this problem. How confident we are about all this reach and impact scores that we estimated. We can be very confident or not so confident. And we multiply all those parameters and then divide by effort, like amount of time. So if it's a large feature, definitely RISE score should be lower. And for example, we have like this idea, we just multiply the things, divide by effort, and have this like 6.4 RISE score. So from this table, this is the most feature to or idea to implement or to solve. This is how RISE technically works. Is it good? It should be good, so many people use it. And indeed, it has some good things like embedded in RISE. First is with these parameters, it really frames a discussion. Like, oh, we are discussing about reach, or we are having a discussion about impact. And you don't just rely on something very abstract like intuition. And you here rely on some concrete concepts, like how impactful is this feature for a user, and so on. And it helps you to discuss things. It just frame you to discuss important things about the problem. And RISE is also somewhat data-driven. So when you estimate reach or impact, you still try to use some data. Like I had a conversation with these few customers, and they all mentioned that this is a very important problem and impact is high for us, and so on. So you still use it, but it's kind of intuitive. You don't really, in real life, you don't accumulate a lot of data to back up your decision. Sometimes, and RISE push you to do that. But I personally didn't see this practice stick. It's very hard to really accumulate this data. and that's why it's kind of mostly about like some evidence and not like many facts about things. But what RISE is not good enough, in my opinion. There are several things. First is you still use your intuition, let's be honest, like to forecast impact or forecast reach and so on. You mostly have a discussion, oh, maybe it will affect like 40% of our users. But how you define this 40%? It mostly like, it's a guess in general. Yeah, you have this confidence score to correct this guess, but it's still hard. You have guesses about your guesses now. And just multiply all these like intuitive parameters that you put into RISE model. So in my opinion, ultimately, it's still mostly like intuitive model. You mostly rely on your intuition to make decisions here. And also, my RISE score and your RISE score are very different things. Like, let's say I'm a very confident person, and almost all my estimates will be at least 80% correct. Like, and I put a lot of like value in this confidence. And you are not so confident, let's say, and you will be more shy. And it will be hard to compare our scores. So my scores will be apples, your scores will be oranges. You can try to align your teams, your people in your company to really have unified RISE model. But from my experience, it's quite hard to do. Like still, when you have a lot of people, these estimates will be incomparable. So if you have very small products, RISE will work. If you have large products with many teams, it will be harder to make decisions. And mostly RISE ignores feedback from people. Yeah, we have some evidence, when we read something, but you don't really collect a lot of things to back up your decision about impact or about reach. So my personal journey with prioritization frameworks is this. Initially I knew nothing and I just read things and made my decisions intuitively. Then I learned there are so many techniques like Kano model, RISE model, and so on. I've invented my own linear model to do estimates with 8 parameters. And I tried them all, But eventually I found out that for me personally, they don't work better. I don't have any new insights. I don't if I do this prioritization intuitively, I receive quite similar results. So I just gave up with them. But then I found a better way. Maybe we should put feedback from customers and use it somehow to affect our decisions, what to build next. Let's try to do that. Let's prioritize with feedback. First thing, any company will do, is just let people vote. So we install some software, some feedback portal, and let people add things and vote for them. Well, initially I did exactly that, but in the end, I didn't like the idea. Why? There are so many problems with votes. Let's just me explain a couple of them. Votes has embedded biases. Let's say few couple of people go and add some features, vote for them, and they will be here. Other people will join, and so on. So just some features will be on top. And when new visitors will come to this feedback portal, it's quite easy to do a vote. You just click +1 and here we go. So features will pop on top, and not all top features will be really important, And when the person votes, it captures no context, it's just +1 from this person. And I personally think that friction in this process is good. If someone is not ready to write a paragraph about a problem, about use case, maybe it's not important enough for this person, and why we should capture this kind of feedback. So my personal opinion is that votes is not a good way to make decisions based on feedback. Okay, but what to do? I like science, and we really try to invent a framework that will rely on more scientific approach. Let me show 4 steps in this framework. First step is we should collect feedback from our customers and leads, sales, from all the channels that we can. Store this feedback in a single place and extract facts from this feedback. For example, this is some interview, and this is a problem a person describing. And we can just highlight it and say, this is a fact. We extracted this fact somehow. We are not speaking about tools yet, from the interview and stored it somewhere, okay? So it's the first step, collect feedback and extract facts. Then we can augment our facts with some metadata, like how important this problem. Let's say we can have like severity level for this problem. Maybe it's a blocker. Maybe it's like high priority problem. Maybe low priority. We can capture additional context, like company size. Let's say feedback from small companies may be less important for us than feedback from like large companies. And this fact from a small company, like it will be not so important, but we still collect it, you know. Again, it can be any metadata that you have. Like your business is unique, your priorities are unique. Maybe you are designing some complex things and selling them to energy companies. And if this feedback from energy company, it should be more important for you. So basically, you augment your facts that you have in feedback with some metadata. The third thing is that you connect these facts to your backlog. It can be a backlog of your problems, of insights, of features, doesn't really matter. In this case, we have a feature, let's say, and we have a collection of facts linked to this feature. So you captured the fact, you augmented this fact with some information, and you linked this fact to a problem or to a feature. And the last piece, when you have all that, now you can define some unique scoring metric for a fact. Let's say this number is 5. And you can have many parameters that you collected for facts and use them to define a priority of this fact. It can be a freshness, like fresh facts are more important for us, so we value them more. It can be company size, it can be company segment, it can be pen level, it can be anything you want to add. And you calculate the score based on all these parameters. Okay, and you have collection of facts linked to a feature, to a problem. And then you can just summarize all the scores. And as a result, you will have a number that you put like near your problem. And you see, mostly all these parameters that we have here are not like based on your intuition. Like they are objective. Freshness, company size, company segment, all these parameters are objective. Pen level maybe not so objective, but you know, still we can set it if the pen is high. We kind of know it. Okay, so this is a framework. We collect all the feedback, we extract facts, we link these facts to our product hierarchy, augment these facts with some metadata, and create some custom scoring model. Like it's not RISE, it's your own model for your own business. The question is, can you do it somewhere right now? And let me show you how we do it, and maybe you will do it in the future. Now we are jumping to our product, Fibery. So this is Fibery, and this is a whiteboard in Fibery. Let me show you all the steps that I showed you during the presentation in the real product. So again, first thing, we should collect feedback from all kinds of sources we have, like from interviews, from web forms, from intercom chats, from Slack channels, and so on. You can like create your own sources and so on. And we accumulate all this feedback, let's say in some view, like here we have feedback inbox, and we capture Slack messages, some information from the web, and some interviews. And just let's explore how it looks in real life. Let's say this is a Slack message you posted to some channel, so we captured it and have it stored it this way. Very simple message. Or we have an interview with some customer, and we capture this interview here, like interview notes and interview transcript and so on. So it's just a raw feedback. You just store it here. Okay. And we also have a hierarchy of our product. In this case, let me show how it looks. We have a green me product, some project management system. We have some components, we have some features inside. So we want to extract facts from our feedback and link these facts to this product hierarchy. It can be anything, again, up to you. It can be just a list of problems that you have. That's it. What we do next? Well, when we accumulated all this feedback, we extract facts from this feedback. We call these facts highlights. Okay, let me show you. For example, this is a fact that we extracted from this interview and link it to time tracking feature. Let's open the interview. Here is just a text, and you see the text is highlighted, link it to time tracking, and some parameters are set, like severity is medium here, like we link it some company automatically, and so on. Okay. And this is the fact itself, like it's a database item, so you can like have all these parameters here. And this is your feature, like time tracking in this case. And all facts, all highlights are linked to this feature, and this is one of them, okay? So this is the whole process. How it works, like if you want to really capture something, let me show you. For example, this is our sources, and you have a set of interviews. Let's say you just had a new interview with some customer. Let's just edit like test interview. You can open the interview, and let's say you have a video or audio file. You can upload it here and transcribe it right away. When transcription is ready, you can like just click a button and insert the transcription here. So it's your conversation about the GreenMe product, basically. Maybe we want to extract some notes automatically, not write them like ourselves. So you can also click a button and it will generate summary of our conversation and some interesting facts from this conversation. So here we go. And now we want to extract pieces, like facts from this interview. You can just click this button and Fibery AI will analyze this text, and it knows everything about your backlog, about your components, features, and so on. So it just suggest you some ideas like, okay, maybe it's related to reporting. Maybe I want to create facts from notes. Or maybe I want to create facts just from transcript, like to keep the original words from this person. So I can click here. Like this is about reporting. So I can just click link. A new fact is created and link it to reporting. And I can set severity, for example, in this case, high. So this is how you can quickly process feedback from this part. Or you can process it from another way. Like we have time tracking feature that you can wonder, okay, I didn't collect any feedback for this feature yet. Do we have anything? So you can click this button again, and Fibery will analyze all sources that you have, like all interviews, all Slack messages, and try to suggest relevant information. In this case, like in this interview, we have something about time tracking. So you can like open it also and see, indeed, it's about time tracking. And you can just click link and new highlight, create it and link it to this feature. It's another way how you can process feedback and find facts and link them to your hierarchy. Now let's talk about scores. Okay, you did all that, like you collected feedback, you processed it, you linked it to product hierarchy. Now what? Yeah, you should augment, you should construct your own score, like, and put some parameters that are important for you to calculate an importance of a single highlight, of a single fact. Like it can be anything again. It can be location, customer size, target segment, customer type, anything you want. In this demo, it will be quite simplistic. Like this is the score that we have, okay? And it just has two parameters. So we take into consideration severity value, like high or blocker and so on, and company size. We just multiply these two parameters. And severity value is captured manually, so you should set it when you capture a fact. And here is it, like blocker is like, has 8 number, like high is 5. So you just multiply this number to some other number from company size. For example, medium will be 2, large company will be 3, and so on. And you have this score 6, okay? So you have this score for a single fact. And now, when you go to your feature, you should define a priority score based on all facts that you accumulate. And here we have, we summarize all our highlight scores that we have and divide it by effort. And also multiply it by 10 to just avoid decimals, you know. So when you have that, you have your score based on all linked highlights or facts, the score of your feature, okay? And finally, the final step is to construct a backlog. Now we have it, like it will be just sorted by our priority score. And now you see, based on all the facts you extracted from feedback and so on, what is the most important thing to work on next. In this case, it should be dashboard, maybe. Like it collected a lot of feedback from important customers, I'd say. So you see, this, for example, is blocker for Euroconsult company, and weight is high, like 60. That's why dashboard popped up on top. And again, imagine like you have maybe hundreds of pieces here and how it will look. By the way, let me show you how it will look like in real life in our own company. Like this is a sandbox, like it's for just a small project, maybe with few features, maybe it's unconvincing. Okay, let me switch and show how it works for our own company. So we use it like with more parameters, and I just show you some views to not compromise any customer data. First thing is, this is our real backlog ranked by score. So we have these insights and features in our backlog. Insight for us is a problem that we are going to solve but don't know yet how. And feature is a problem that we are going to solve and know how. And that's why we have features and insights here. And you see, for example, this dependency management insight is like clear number 1, maybe. And some permission-related feature is number 2. And for example, 50 facts were collected and accumulated and linked to this particular feature. So we have quite clear understanding based on all this linked information, what is more important. And again, it's just not the sum of all facts. It's sum of all facts based on score. And we take into consideration company size, company segment, feedback freshness, pain level, and some other parameters. So that's how we do it, okay? We may wonder, okay, we have product areas in our product. We split all our features by product areas, like integration, permission, flexible domain. They are nested, by the way. And we may wonder, what are the most important product areas to focus on next? And we have this total score based on all the features, all the insights linked to this product area. And we see that integration, flexible domain, permission, like automation are the top 4, I'd say, okay? And we may decide, okay, strategically, we want to focus on permissions. We have a lot of feedback around it, and like it's really important for us. But what to work on in this permission area? And you can create a view and just filter all features by permission-related product areas and see the score just for features related to permissions. And we see that these like top 5, I'd say, features are the most important. So we should focus on them. Again, it doesn't immediately mean that we should implement all of them. They just frame us. So these are important problems. What we can do to solve them as fast as we can do and as good as we can do. So we definitely should take them into consideration when designing things and so on around permissions. So it helps us to make even strategic decisions. So we decide to focus strategically on permissions, and these are features or problems that we should focus on. Or we can construct quite interesting reports. Let's say we may wonder, okay, this is just static numbers. Maybe we have more or less feedback about this particular problem, like time-wise. And we can create like a feedback frequency chart. This chart is for single insight in this case, like about missing dependency management. And we can see that, yeah, we had a lot of feedback like this quarter, somehow few feedback items this quarter, but now then quite steady flow of feedback. So this problem is not becoming like less important, I'd say, from this chart. Or we can even construct a similar chart for all product areas we have, like how many feedback items we receive for every product area per quarter. And we can try to find interesting patterns here. For example, like documents and rich text product area in Fibery, it received like 50 feedback items per quarter. But like last year, we focused on that and we implemented a lot of things, fixed many bugs. And now you see we receive like 20, 30 facts, feedback items per quarter. So we can say that it got better. So we solved some problems and feedback volume got lower. It's interesting. Another interesting like growing pattern, maybe like database permission you see has like some slow growth during the last quarter. So more and more companies interested about this particular like area in our product. So it also helps us make decisions about did we do good things about something or what we should focus on next. Or you can also find all blockers, like when you capture a fact, you said this fact is a blocker, let's say. And you can like just put them on some whiteboard, play with them, and for example, decide this is a very important blocker, we should solve it ASAP. Or this is maybe we can consider for later. So it just help you to understand, to reveal your blockers, since blockers usually are quite important. They just block like a sale of your software to some new lead or like some use case for important customer. So you want to have them like somewhere. So we have them on a whiteboard, like not so many blockers, by the way, as you see. And you can like play with them. So these are just some views that we use, and definitely we use like more things, but some of them are with customer data, and I don't want to show it to you. So again, to reiterate, you collect feedback from many sources, as much as you can. With help of AI and manually, you extract facts from these feedback sources and link these facts to your product hierarchy. It can be problem hierarchy and so on. And you augment this information with some custom data, or you can connect your CRM and fetch the data from CRM and connect it here. And as a result, you have this like backlog with priority score that are mostly based on real evidence. They are not like intuitive decisions or our vision. They're just hard data that you collected from feedback, from interviews, from sales, from your customers, and so on. So that's a next step for prioritization to me. We used this approach for a couple of months recently, and I really liked it. So that's why I was really excited to share it with you. And now I'm ready to answer all the questions you have. Okay. Let me go to questions. Is this available as an importable template that can then be customized? Absolutely. Like, let me show you really quick. So you can just go to Fibery, click try for free, sign up with some credentials, and choose this product management. Make sure that you choose this button, and you will have exactly this template that I showed to you during the demo. Okay. What next? It's an interesting one. Isn't there an implicit assumption that users form a homogeneous cohort? Is that user from a single coherent and consistent group with very similar behavior? What happens if, for example, there are two or more very different cultural groups? It's nice. It's a nice question, since it depends on your product. Maybe you have indeed two cohorts, and your product have different set of features, for example, for these two cohorts. But it's your decision. You should know to what cohort this customer belongs, for example, and you just separate all this feedback to these two separate cohorts. It's possible. Like when you capture the fact, you can say, this is fact for cohort number 1, or this is fact for cohort number 2. You can configure it this way. And or even automatically, if you have your CRM and this information is captured in this CRM. But again, you should capture this information somehow to group these feedback items or feedback facts by cohorts. And in this case, you can have two different backlogs. Like this is backlogs based on cohort 1, and this is backlog based on cohort 2, like feedback. So that's how it can be done. Again, it's an interesting question. I will be happy to discuss it like somewhere in person if you contact us after this call. Okay. How can we take into account quant data, again, revenue for prioritization? Can we integrate some product analytics tool post hoc? We have this request right now. You can, if you have, let's say, your revenue data in CRM, we do, let's say, you can have this data and link it like to your facts. So basically, when you link an account using CRM, you have all the information from this account. Let me show it to you real quick again. So here we have companies. Like again, this CRM is in Fibery, but it can be HubSpot or other CRM. And you capture some information, like is this a target customer for you, customer size. Imagine it can be an revenue field here as well. and you will just use this field and connect this field to effect. So if you connect a company to effect, it can be done automatically. You can also have access to all the fields in your customer or in your company, like revenue, location, anything. And you can, in your formula, when you calculate a score of the effect, you can use this information. Like if the revenue is higher than 1 million, like you put, I don't know, 100 to the score, something like that. So it's possible to do. We don't have like out of the box integration with post hoc, but we are definitely open to implement all kinds of important integrations. So if like you want to try it and this is a real blocker for you, we'll be happy to implement it like in a few weeks, since integrations in Fibery are quite fast to implement. What if I have, what if I have many feedback sources? How to connect, how to aggregate it? Okay, let me show you maybe very quickly how setup looks. So when you set up things, so these are your sources. In this demo, we have Slack, interview, web. You can have more, like automatically from Discourse, email, intercom, Zendesk, or you can build your own integration and link some other database here. So this is how you can add more sources. Like, and again, this is how you can add more targets, and this is how you define your fact and add formulas to these facts and so on. So it can be done. It's relatively easy, in my opinion. Okay. So what's next? What we have not answered? Yeah, the webinar is recorded, and recording will be available after that. How do you add visionary innovation priorities in this framework? Again, it's a very interesting question, and we have some ideas. So in general, you can solve this by have separate tracks. Let's say you have some resources in a company, I don't know, several teams. And strategically, you can say, we dedicate like 50% of our teams to visionary stuff. And here, I don't have good ideas for you. Just rely on your intuition. And we dedicate 50% for some like user-driven like stuff, like polish things here, implement things that people ask and so on. And here, you can try to use this framework. If you want to try and merge them together, we had a discussion about it. That, let's say you have some strategic themes in your company. Like, this is visionary stuff, and you can say, okay, we give some high priority, like some weight to our visionary features. Like we like things these are important features, and we give them some score, and we can try to combine the score. But my intuition is telling me that maybe this is not a great approach. We didn't try that. And I'd say this is the most interesting problem to play with, like how we can combine visionary and user-driven priorities and have a single score to calculate priorities between all the features, including visionary features. But right now, I don't have great ideas here. We have some, and maybe we explore them further, and maybe we'll write something in the future. But unfortunately, that's all I can answer right now. Okay. Why can't highlights a text and link it to two product areas or features? Sometimes I face this in a particular case. Yeah, we have such feedback that sometimes you want to link the same fact to several targets, like to some feature, to some maybe problem and things like that. And we do want to implement it in the near future, but we just wanted to see how it works with a single target, since it will make the solution more complex. And now we do want to make it like less complex so far. But if we accumulate enough feedback that this is needed, definitely we'll implement it. It's not like hard to do. We just didn't do it because of like we tried to hide some complexity from users. Okay. What is expected integration plan of this with AI? Well, it's already integrated with AI. I showed you some things here. If you mean like automatic feedback processing, like, okay, we have a lot of feedback and we don't really want to do it manually. We are working on that. It's a very hard problem. The problem here is that like matches should be very good. Like with our tests, we have like 60-80% good matches. So most likely in a few weeks we release something and get your feedback on that. It will be very good for a first run when you just like fetch all your feedback into Fibery and want to automatically find insights, interesting features, and so on. But for repetitive runs, most likely it will work not that good. But we will see. Right now we experimented with that and we are very close to initial release here. Folks, there are a lot of questions. I will proceed with answering, but I don't know how much time it will take. So, do you have a Salesforce integration? Right now, no, but it's in our nearest future roadmap. Like Salesforce and all other feedback sources are very important for us. So if you need it, again, contact us and we'll tell you when it can be done. So we are on track here. How can we integrate Fibery's product analytics tool like Asana or Mixpanel? I didn't know that Asana is a product analytic tool. Mixpanel, yes. You know, right now we are mostly trying to collect qualitative data like interviews, chats, and so on. And for quantitative data, we have some ideas, but we don't have a good solution. Again, on my personal opinion, Fibery can just fetch everything. But it matter of priorities. What kind of use cases we personally want to close based on our customers' feedback. So far, this is not a frequent request, but if we hear more and more such kind of feedback, like we want mixed panel integration, things like that, we definitely give it more priority, but it's still in our backlog for some future, but this future is unknown right now. Okay, the application shown adds structure to unstructured data. I assume it can be used to structured data as well. Yes, one example with our lead, I will not disclose the name, but they have deals in HubSpot and deal size and so on. And they just want to connect features with deals. And yeah, it's possible in Fibery. And so like you connect Fibery to HubSpot, they have all your deals, and allow people to just select some deals for some feature. So let's say, as a salesperson, you had a conversation, you have the deal, and you understand what features like a lead asked about. So you connect this deal to these features. And in the end, you can calculate feature value based on connected deals. It's just structured data, so you can do that as well. Again, it's just one example from our recent like lead, and I believe there are many more things that you can like invent with these things. It's not limited to unstructured data for sure. All right. What next? How can I understand which features are popular in which segment? How we keep focus now, since before we positioned as a no-code tool, acquired customers, and now changed the focus? Okay, interesting question. By the way, we like had this. We have this view. Maybe I even can show it to you. Like, let me check. So maybe this one. Basically, we have two scores. Like primary metric is our current primary metric, and alternative. And here we can change a segment. Like, what if we decide to focus on startups, or what if we decide to focus on digital agencies? Like, I can select this segment. Like, let me select like startups as an alternative. And Fibery will just recalculate this alternative score based on this segment you see, and you see like list of prioritized features and insights and product areas based on this segment. It's quite complex, I should say. It's possible, but it's quite complex. If you want to play with it, contact us and we'll be happy to have a conversation with you. But it's possible. Like you can segment your feedback based on different things and do clever solutions. But again, it's not an easy thing to have. Okay. What else? I think I answered almost all the questions. Some were answered in chat. Yeah, one more. How do you organize features into roadmap planning to answer by when a feature will be delivered? Yeah, we don't have any insights here that you will enjoy. We just create a roadmap and try to forecast some release date based on our intuitive knowledge of the feature, like based on the task connected to a feature and so on, who will do this feature, things like that. So it's mostly just a basic roadmap that you produce manually. So it's still unsolved problem, in my opinion. Maybe eventually we'll try to provide a good solution here, but right now it's just a manual thing that you most likely are doing right now with your current tool. Is the choice to sum to potentially infinite if there is a lot of feedback and not make a formula that makes a scale intentional? Well, basically, it's quite similar to RISE, where you just multiply things and divide by effort, for example. You can definitely invent your own score. We found that this score is intuitive for us in our own context. But yeah, it's just it's not a problem to define your own formula and have some scale as a baseline. But for us, it was good enough. But again, I'm not so sure that our way is the best way. So you can definitely invent your own. I think you are getting tired, people. It was like 20 minutes Q&A session, and such sessions are not usually so entertaining. Okay, one more. Does the highlight feature have the potential to be applied to all databases in the future? If you mean multiple relations, like multi-relations, how we call it, then yes, we have this intention. Highlight is based on multi-relation. You see, you can link the same database to several sources and to several targets. Technically, it's already possible, since highlights are working this way, but we should solve some UI problems, how to not confuse people and so on. But yes, in the future, we are going to add it into Fibery as well. Could this be adapted to review candidate products for adding to your stack? Some tools, G2, and so on, weight things in ways that aren't suitable for your own use case, so a new tool is needed. Candidate products for interesting. I don't really understand the question. If you mean that you want to capture feedback from G2, technically it's possible to build an integration, or you just can capture G2 feedback using web snippet, for example. You can just select some part from G2 and capture it in Fibery. I'm not so sure that I got the question correctly. If it's not the case, please contact us somewhere in Intercom, for example, after the demo, and we have a conversation about it. Can we customize the weightages given to all factors considered to arrive at the priority score? Absolutely. Here, what I showed to you is just a very custom formula. So you can have your own fields, your own weights for everything, for facts, for features. It's completely customizable. Nothing is hard-coded here. Basically, all I showed to you just built on top of Fibery platform. So you can change almost everything. And that's the answer is yes. But again, to do that, you have to learn building blocks. You have to learn how Fibery works, what building blocks are there, and so on. It takes time, but you also will have real power when you learn it. Last opportunity for you folks to answer something, to ask something, and me to answer. It was a lot of questions. I didn't expect so many, to be honest. So thank you for your interest. Really appreciate it. That's it then. We'll send a video recording of this webinar to you when it's done. So Thank you very much for all your emojis and so on. I really enjoyed preparing this presentation, so I hope you also enjoyed watching it. Thank you, folks. Bye-bye.